I'm lucky. I'm the first one today, but that means that by the end of the session, I might be a distant memory for you all. So if there's one thing that you remember from today, from my presentation, is the concept of System 3 and how it will change us. I assume most of you know who Daniel Kahneman is and are familiar with his System 1 and 2 theory. But if you're not, I have a short recap coming soon, because what I'm proposing in my essay is an evolution of Kahneman's thinking. And I'm being cheeky in this photo here. I mean, this guy is a Nobel Prize winner, so I have no intention of diminishing his work. But I do want to add something to it. In Thinking Fast and Slow, he described how our brains make decisions. But we are no longer just our brains. We are our brains, and we are the technology that we use to augment our intelligence. And that external help that we use is what I'm calling System 3. Now, why is this categorization of System 3 important? Because it will change the way we live. It will change the way we think and the way we feel. I believe System 3 will bring us to our senses. And this means it will activate a sensorial side of us that is currently dormant. Let me tell you how. I'm stealing this concept from Ishiguro's latest novel, Clara and the Sun. It's the concept of being lifted. In his story, there's a girl that has been lifted. That means that she has been genetically modified to become more intelligent. But we don't need to be genetically modified. We're already being lifted. We ask Alexa how long it would take us to get to work. We Google anything. We have access of thousands of people's reviews on Amazon. We are cyborgs. And it doesn't feel like that because the rate of communication between us and the machine, the computer or the phone, is still not immediate. But in 10 years only, we'll be able to connect our brains to the machines, to computers. And that will speed up our thinking, that will speed up our decision process. Now, to the skeptics out there, let me tell you, there are some companies that are already doing human trials on brain-computer interfaces, and it's working. So it is very likely that we'll end up merging our human intelligence with machine intelligence. And the question is, how will that impact our decision making? Because it will. So back to Kahneman's theory, I promised a recap. In very, very, very simple terms, System 1 is fast, intuitive, emotional. System 2 is slow, effortful, rational. System 1 is how you get to work every day in automatic mode. And today, you came here, so you probably took a different tube. So you used System 2 to help you navigate that new route. And even System 3, maybe, if you used Google Maps. Now, when the effort of System 2 is really intense, it requires all our brain capacity and shuts down System 1. We see nothing, we hear nothing, just the thing that we're focused on. Remember the gorilla experiment? There's a gorilla there. If you are busy counting the basketball passes, you miss the gorilla walking right in front of you. So, what happens? Ta-da! What happens when System 3 is plugged into System 2? We have augmented memory. We can know anything about any product, anytime, in less than 1 second. We have the perfect information. When our cognition is helped by System 3, our System 1 does not need to shut down. It's actually the opposite that happens. Even with huge amounts of information being processed in the background by System 3, System 1 remains alert. And here's the important bit. This will be a biological change in our brains. It's called pruning in neuroscience. Pruning is when areas of our brains that are not being used give space and are pruned to give space to areas that we need. So when cognition, so this is how brains adapt to change with this pruning. If you go blind, you will probably have a heightened sense of sound and smell. So as our brains use less of the system 2, our system 1 flourishes. We become more curious, more open, more awake to our senses. Now I have a confession to make. I used to sleep read to my kids every evening. And if you have ever read to kids the same book over and over, you'll know what I mean about sleep reading. You read the story out loud, and when you finish, you have no recollection of what you just said. And you have no idea if the kids enjoyed it or not. But a few months ago, we started listening to audiobooks together. And without the weight of me having to read the book, I started enjoying the stories with my children. With the help of an external system 3, my system 1 was able to enjoy the story, listen to the music, see their faces, and hold their hands. Now you're thinking, what does this mean for your brands? What does this mean for your products? So in 10 years, we will have 3 fully integrated systems. To communicate to consumers, we will communicate product information directly to System 3. We will go through digital marketplaces, communicate directly to the tech algorithm. But to fully win in this next world, to fully communicate to consumers, we will need to lift the sensorial experiences. And I don't mean experiential marketing or events. I mean experiences that are able to alter perception and thoughts and feelings. And this is the focus of my presentation in the next slides, because I think this is the opportunity that we might miss if we get stuck on the algorithm battles. And we cannot miss this opportunity. We can't. So 3 things up there that brands should be thinking about on how to lift sensorial stimulation. 3 things: lift sensorial product, lift the sensorial experience, lift the sensorial brand, lift the sensorial data, not the sensorial brand. I'll take you through it one by one. Lift the sensorial product. This is lifting the sensorial stimulation of the experience of the product by layering more sensations onto it. So if you think about a product, it doesn't end there. It doesn't need to end there. A toy can have characters for us to play with, or the kids to play with. A story can have audio, of course, and my favorite, a shampoo bottle can have a video message personalized to you. So if you think about products, it doesn't need to end there. Think also, how do we add more sensorial layers onto the product? So this is product, moving from product to comms. And this is the one I love. I love this example. Lift the sensorial experience. Obviously, virtual worlds, the metaverse, VR, are going to be really rich territories for us to explore sensorial stimulation. And there are a few brands already doing it in virtual worlds. I love the Burberry bags on Roblox. But I think that products, virtual goods, are just a start. And here is an example from Pangaea. They're an innovative and sustainable clothing brand, and they have quite a complex product features. So they thought, instead of communicating the product features, too boring for consumers, they created this virtual world that you can access through your laptop. Nothing unusual or it can be developed. But the interesting thing is how you get in there, you are in Antarctica, and as you walk, you feel the snow in your feet. You can hear the sounds, and you hear the sound of the wind. You almost feel the cold. So all these sensations is what's going to differentiate Pangaea through System 1 experiences. and the information about product features, etc., can be directed to system 3. So I've talked about product, sensorial product, lifting the sensorial experience. Now my third and final recommendation, lift the sensorial data that we collect from consumers and do it better and differently than we do now. This image is from the film Her. In here, Joaquin Phoenix falls in love with his AI assistant. And I ask myself, why does he fall in love with her? Because she knows everything about him. And everything she does is to engage him. So in 10 years, we'll be able to connect and to understand directly the sensations, the emotional data from consumers, and we'll be able to tap into that to leverage the experiences of the brand. So in 10 years, we will be able to capture the emotional data and transform it into experiences that are relevant for that. So we will know when exactly we need to be funny, when our consumer needs us to be more active or more strong, or etc. Now, obviously, there's a few privacy issues with this, but that's a big topic for another essay. So I hope that by now you are with me on how the System 3 is disrupting how we make decisions and how it enables System 1 to make us more perceptive, and how brands can leverage that by lifting sensorial products, sensorial experiences, and sensorial data. So one point here is that I don't think this should happen for all products. No. Most of our decisions in 10 years' time will be automated through System 3. But some decisions we have pleasure in making. And those are the decisions that we can leverage with lifting the sensorial experiences with System 1. I wanted to finish with a quote from Daniel Kahneman, because I need to give him the credit that he deserves. And I 100% agree with this quote, and I think you will too, if you think deeply about how we make decisions. No one ever made a decision because of a number. They need a story. And stories are recounts of sensations, of things that we've experienced. And stories and experiences are really important today, but in 10 years' time, they will be essential. I believe System 3 will bring us to our senses, because System 3 is what will enable System 1 to be more open to the world, to enable us to feel the brands and products in what way we haven't done before, in a more human and primal and visceral way, with all ourselves and with all our senses. Thank you.